Well, hi, my name is Shawn with the 1245 team here at Keller Williams Realty. And if you are 50 years old or older and possibly thinking about your next home, that is probably one of the biggest decisions you're going to make in the next 20 years. And most people buying houses, well, unfortunately, they often buy based upon what feels right today. And that's a big mistake. The right home protects your independence, and it keeps you from being forced to move again, maybe even in or during a crisis mode. So I just want to share with you 5 what I believe are just non-negotiable features. So let's get into what those 5 non-negotiable features are for your next home. All right, so the feature number 1 is primary suite on the main level. So important. Your bedroom, bathroom, laundry must be on the same floor. That is a non-negotiable. I don't care if you feel like you are just the healthiest person right now, and maybe you can run marathons still. But things like knee surgeries or a fall or a spouse who needs care, it happens fast. And when it does, stairs turn your home kind of just into a prison. Here's what I mean by that. I remember a client telling me that after his wife had a stroke, he slept on the couch for 6 months downstairs because he wasn't able to help her get upstairs and he wanted to be with her. And so here's my perspective on what you need to look for in this next home here. Primary bedroom on the main level. That is essential. Full bathroom on the main level, not a half bath, and also the laundry on the same level. So here's a test question you can simply walk through houses when you see them, and it's this. Could you live comfortably in that house on the main level if you never went upstairs or downstairs again? If the answer is no, just keep looking for another house, okay? Now, second floors, guys, they're fine, all right? They're great. They're great for guests. They're great for kids coming into town, but not for your daily life needs. And that's what I want to help you think through. Your daily life really must function on one level. And so I think this single decision really determines, well, whether you age in place or potentially get forced out at some point. So feature number 2 for you to think through is 36-inch doorways and bathroom setup. The standard doorways are 30 inches wide, and you really need to look for 36 inches, especially for bathrooms and bedrooms. Now here's the reason why. A wheelchair is 25 inches wide, and with a 30-inch doorway, you're really squeezing through. Now at 36 inches, it's really kind of an easy passage. So as you tour homes, bring a tape measure and measure the doorways. If all the doorways are 30 inches, well, that home fails, unless you're willing to potentially pay to have them all widened, and that might be $15,000 to $20,000 depending on the amount of work that it could need. Now, I remember I talked to you about bathroom setup in this as well, and now let me tell you about how a bathroom setup saves lives. Most injuries happen in showers and getting off toilets. I know that sounds strange, but it's true. And so what you need in this next house is a walk-in shower with no curb, or at minimum a really low threshold. Think 3 inches max. But you also need reinforced walls for grab bars. And so I think it's always good to ask the seller if their walls behind the shower have blocks for them so that grab bars can be installed. If it doesn't, you just need to budget for potentially ripping that shower out to be able to add the needed blocking behind the shower to add those kind of bars. Now the toilets as well are important. A standard height toilet is 15 inches. And you really want to look for the 17 to 19 inches. Really, I would say the quick test for you is, can you simply stand up from the toilet on your own? If you can't and you're trying to use yourself to kind of push up a little bit, just know in 10 years, you're really gonna need that extra space, so you might as well just get those extra size toilets now. Okay, so a side note on space before we move on to the next one is actually hallways as well. So a normal hallway often is 36 inches, and we would say look for 42-inch wide hallways because it's gonna just help easy passageway a lot easier. All right, so feature number 3 is the 15-minute location rule. Now, most people choose location for what they want now, and I think that's wrong. Okay, I really think you should think about the 15-minute rule. Be within 15 minutes of your doctors, full hospital, pharmacy, grocery stores, your kids, your grandkids. And here's why, because when driving becomes difficult, and it very well may at some point, you need options. And you need potentially public transit, or you need to be able to walk safely, or make sure that there's rides available. And so nobody really wants the scenario when you're maybe 75 years old, you can't drive at night, and your doctor is 30 or 45 minutes away. And what happens? Your kids start begging you to move. And you just don't want to put yourself in the situation if you don't have to. So think about proximity. 15-minute rule, but also I think this is helpful too, proximity to family. Interesting statistic, if your grandkids are 45 plus minutes away, you'll see them 3 to 4 times a year. And if they're 15 minutes away, well, you're actually in their weekly rhythm of life. So just keep that in mind as you think about location. Location really is, in my opinion, it's one of the things, you can't change it without selling, right? So choose proximity over just property size every single time. All right, so feature number 4 that is super important is low maintenance equals freedom. All right, that's how you have to think about it. Low maintenance equals freedom. So let's be honest, you don't really want a project anymore, right? The big yard, the wood siding that needs painted every 5 years, well, that was exciting when you were 40. But when you're 60 or 65 and beyond, it kind of can tend to feel like a trap. So think low maintenance. Now, what is low maintenance? I think of low maintenance things like vinyl and fiber cement board siding, right? It's zero paint. It's zero paint. Think small yard with maybe mature landscaping, because that's really nice. Or maybe even like an HOA that actually handles that for you. Definitely no pools unless you have it like heavily automated. So here's, I think, the question that you can ask when you go see houses. Can you leave that house for a month without having to worry about it? It's a really helpful question to ask. Because, I mean, here's the math. Paying for lawn service and maintenance and upkeep on a large property, I mean, it can cost sometimes between $3,000 to $5,000. And so over a decade, that's $50,000. And how many townhouses and 55 plus communities, or just even communities, have HOA dues that, well, it's going to buy you your weekends back. It's going to buy you some freedom to actually travel a little bit more. I remember one of my clients told me that they spent 3 weeks in Europe and they didn't think about their house once. Like, they felt like that was freedom. So think about that as an important feature. And just remember, buy the lifestyle that you want at 70, or if you're 60, buy the lifestyle you want when you're 75, not the yard work that you're stuck with. Feature number 5 for you is 3 bedrooms minimum. All right, I'm just gonna say it. You're downsizing, but you're not disconnecting from life, okay? So the minimum is 3 bedrooms. Now the 3 bedrooms, my opinion, are to be used for your primary bedroom suite, a dedicated guest room, and a flex room. A flex room that maybe can be an office, a hobby room, maybe even a second guest room if needed. But here's why I think it matters. Grandkids, they need to stay overnight potentially. Adult children come in for holidays and they want to be able to have a place to stay. And sometimes you just need space for purpose, like woodworking and painting or managing your investments or consulting. And so I find one of the big mistakes is that people buy like a 2-bedroom condo and then realize that they don't have their extra space for themselves. So the rule that you can ask as you go see houses is you need one room where you can close the door and it's your space. Now, downsizing doesn't mean shrinking your life. It just means right sizing, right, for what matters really most to you. Okay, and here is the bonus. Last one here is don't max out your budget. Here's what most agents often won't tell you. They don't necessarily say, don't buy the most expensive house you can afford. But I'm telling you that because financial freedom matters. Honestly, I think it's more important than square footage now. Because the reality is healthcare costs increase. You want to help your kids or grandkids. Maybe you want to travel, have experiences that are important to you, and they just become priorities. And, I think you also want to cushion, reduce stress in life. And so one of the keys to doing that is, well, don't buy top of your budget. So here's my guideline. If you're selling, let's say, a $600,000 home, consider buying a $450,000 home and just investing the difference. If you were to simply take that extra $150,000 and invest it, you're going to be making somewhere between $8,000 to $12,000 a year just on investment returns. And that could really serve you with additional income. So when you're looking at a house, you can consider, well, what's more important, having the square footage or extra $1,000 coming in a month that can actually go towards your living expenses? So here's the summary. The 5 non-negotiables: primary suite on main bedroom, bathroom, laundry room, all on one floor. 2 36-inch doorways, all right, smart bathroom designs as well, walk-in shower, reinforced walls, comfort height toilet. Also, third is 15-minute location rule, right? Doctors, essentials, family, be thinking about that. Fourth is low maintenance, so buy where you don't have to do much maintenance on the actual house itself. And the last one was 3-bedroom minimum, okay? Stay connected to family, give them a place, and also give a place for yourself to kind of live out some of the purposes that you really enjoy. And then the bonus, don't max out your budget. Financial flexibility, honestly, that equals lifestyle freedom, and you want that as you age. So here's the truth. Most people, they wait until maybe a health crisis forces the move, and they just find themselves deciding from maybe more weakness than strength. And I just want to encourage you to do this from strength, okay? So tour homes that have these features, and consider making the move really more so on your timeline than on a forced timeline, because being older is just about becoming wiser. That's all. And that's what this is. It's just simply choosing wisdom. So if you are in Northern Virginia and you would love to be able to explore and see some of these houses, let's talk. Okay, we help really folks navigate this every single week. So we're here. Drop us a line. You'll see our contact information and let us know how we can serve you. God bless.